At the beginning of the movie we see a car pulling up at a huge mansion. A well-clad man emerges from the car and makes his way inside with the town sheriff inside. They find several dead people clad in white robes. Several goat heads are seen on pikes arranged in a circle. Further ahead they see a circle on the ground which strange markings are made. The well-clad man Nykes notices bloody footprints leading away from the circle. He follows them with his gaze to the top of a pillar. He declares a response to the sound of the flashlight rolling on the ground. A moment later Sheriff's crouched in the dark. He urges her to come closer, saying soothing words to calm her down as she hesitantly starts walking to him. He takes out a shackle from his bag as soon as the girl steps into the circle. He puts the shackle on her foot. The girl snarls on the screen, blacks out. We're then introduced to a couple, Eva and Jonah, who are soon about to be married seemingly. Worried, Eva tells Jonah to get wild at the bachelorette party, but also a little careful as she doesn't trust his brother Mack. In the next scene we're showing Mack, Jonah's irresponsible brother, talking about the wild ride they're about to have as he drives the groomsmen and Jonah to Garden City. He takes all their cell phones and puts them away, saying they need to focus on bro time as they pass by a huge poster of a strip club. Mack excitedly declares that he's brought them to the hottest place ever. In the next scene the men are sitting at a lackluster strip club disappointed. Jonah gives the other Swiss knives as groomsmen gifts. As Mack leaves to give them drinks, Jonah tells his most responsible groomsman Rand that he wanted to be his best man, but his brother would never let it go. A stripper approaches. Jonah offers him a lap dance, which Rand buys for him. As the stripper gets busy on Jonah, the men talk about his wedding and how Eva is the perfect girl for him. While Mack is standing at the bar visibly disappointed, a man approaches him and tells him that he knows a secret club that surpasses all expectations. Mack joins the other men on the table and hands out shrooms to them. Rand downs this room without hesitation while the others look at theirs contemplating what to do. Max tells them about the stranger's offer and tells them that if they want to go, they should take the shroom. Rand shows no hesitation. However, Jonah makes an excuse saying he's tired. Elliot straight up refuses to go, saying they shouldn't trust a stranger. Mack makes a speech to let the boys let out the wild sides. Elliot agrees needs a shroom and they all start rooting for Jonah to do the same. Under peer pressure, Jonah reluctantly agrees. The men follow the stranger's car through the deserted forest. In the dark, unnerved by the creepy long drive, Jonah and the others start urging Mack to turn around. Mack, however, remains adamant. The stranger shortly turns to a huge beautiful building and the men pull up after him. They walk up to the man as he awaits them by the door. The door is opened by a beautiful well-dressed woman who welcomed them in. They're sent down the stairs to a hustling and bustling club, which indeed all the action one could ask for. They take their seats around a stage upon which a woman is putting on a show. As the girl leaves, the spectators see her off with a loud applause. Nykes appears on the stage after the girl, followed by two masked women. He welcomes the newcomers and tells them that in celebration of Jonah's stag party he will give them special treatment. Jonah is shocked to learn that the new host has so much information about them and asks Mack if he set this up. Mack, however, says he didn't. Nykes announces the next answer and told the men to follow him while leading them down a corridor. Nykes asks what Jonah is looking for. Mack blurts out he needs something wild, but Rand adds that intercourse is out of the picture, since they directly ask if he means he won't charge him. He says he will. The others brush it off as a joke, but Rand seems to be disturbed by this. Nykes then sends Jonah off to another room. Jonah reaches the glass window through which he sees an unplaid girl. He takes a seat by the window as the girl walks to the back of the room. Nykes tells the groomman it's time to pay. As a woman with blue hair appears, Nykes declares as payment he'll take their fondest memories with their mothers, believing it to be a joke. The boys agree. Nykes tells them to look at their shoes. They do as they're told, and in the blink of an eye, Nykes snaps and tells them it's done. After this they're sent back to the main club. While Jonah is sitting in front of the window, the girl starts singing. Jonah relieves all sexual encounters he had in his life at once and collapsed afterwards. Spin at the bar. Elliot tells the blue-haired girl to give him a leech drink. The girl scoffs and gives it to him, which he quickly gulped down. Mack notices a strange tattoo on the back of Elliot's neck and asks him about it. Rand tells Mack that he has a similar one as well. As Jonah walks away, he hears the girl ask him not to leave. He notices that the door to her room is padlocked from the outside. Fearing that the girl is a sex slave, Jonah goes back to her window and tries to talk to her. However, as a response, he only hears her sobs. Elliot throws up and gets extremely unsettled. He yells at the girl asking who is she, but she just smiles and turns back. Rand looks at the stage where a man now bathes the girl in blood by whipping. Disturbed, he tells the others they need to leave. Jonah approaches and tells Rand to come with him while instructing the others to get to the car. While hiding, Rand and Jonah hear the strangest conversation with someone which reveals that he brought them to earn favors. Elliot, in the worst condition possible, tells Mack he killed her. Mack disregards his blabber, believing it to be a side effect of the drink. Rand and Jonah sneak into the girl's room and unlock it using Rand's Swiss knife. The girl steps out, revealing a shackle on her foot, and sniffs Jonah's shirt. Jonah puts his shirt on her and asks her if she wants to go with him. She nods, and they both run out with her. Jonah stops at the corner, saying he's lost his way. The girl starts walking ahead and the boys follow, realizing she knows where to go. A guard approaches Rand and throws him away. He then pulls his knife, looking at the others, but Rand stabs him with a Swiss knife while they're struggling. The girl takes a bunch of keys from the guard and runs away with Jonah. She leads him to a bathroom and gets busy with her shackle. Jonah tells her to worry about it later, but the girl shakes her head and continues until the shackle falls off. While Jonah has pee-pee out of the crack to watch a guard, a girl climbs up the wall and jumps at the guard. Jonah watches in horror as a snarling girl reveals claws and a tail and brutally kills the guard by ripping off his manhood. Jonah tiptoes out of the stall and runs away. Jonah runs to the car. The screaming people start pulling out of the club. Rand also comes running to them. Thus they take him and drive away. After a while, something pulls Elliot out of the car. Mack panics, letting the car swerve off the road and crash into the tree. Jonah's jacket, which Elliot was wearing, is then dropped on the windshield. They see Elliot on the ground close by and start calling out to him. Jonah takes his phone and they walk to Elliot. The girl drags away and finishes him off. A car drives down the road, and Rand gets in its way to stop it. However, the car crashes into him and keeps driving. Mack and Jonah run off into the forest to save themselves. Nykes approaches their abandoned car and takes Rand from underneath as bait. While looking for a cell phone signal in the forest, Jonah starts blaming Mack for the death of his friends. As they bicker, the girl appears to be watching them from a distance. Upon hearing growling sounds, they both start running again. Jonah twists his foot and falls, wailing in pain. Mack helps him up, and they continue ahead. Mack asks what it could be, what the girl is after. Jonah declares that she wants him. As she sniffed his shirt, she took Ellie away. Since he was wearing his jacket, Jonah smears the unpleasantly smelling mud over his body to mask his scent. As they hear her approach, they lay down in the tall grass and she walks right past them. Nykes takes Rand back to his place and asks who sent him to get Lily, to which Rand explains that he came to enjoy a stag party. Mack and Jonah come across a diner and run inside. They find two policemen there and start telling them what happened. A policeman goes to the counter saying he'll bring them some water. As he turns to make a phone call, a strange tattoo is revealed on his neck. The blue-haired approaches Nick and tells them they found the boys seeming pleased. Nykes tells her to take them to the church. He turns again his attention to Rand and asks if he's telling the truth. Rand nods vigorously. Nykes pulls out a knife and rips his pants at the knee. He tells him that their foolishness cost them a life of a guard, thus they will punish him despite Rand's begging, imploring. They start torturing him when the cops refuse to believe their story. Jonah asks to be taken to the station. They cuff him and lead him out. As once revealed they need to take him to the church, Jonah gets startled and realizes this wasn't his big rescue. The tattoos behind their neck reveal to Mack that they worked for Nykes. As a cop leads Jonah to the car, Lily arrives and starts singing, entrancing the cop. Jonah quickly puts his earphones in to drown her out. He watches her murder the cop. He returns to the diner where the other policeman is holding Mack down. Lily follows it, also murders the second cop. Jonah crawls away and hides behind a counter. A cop's corpse is thrown beside him shortly after, from which he takes the keys and uncuffs himself. He then leans back thinking he's finally safe, but Lily jumps right in front of him, revealing a demonic face. She blinks at him innocently and pulls out his earphones before announcing she likes him. Jonah scurries away, but she attacks him through a door, pinning him to the ground and licking the glass above his face. Horrified, he tosses her aside and runs. He knocks the glass near Mack to get his attention. As Matt gets up, Lily grabs Jonah, takes him away. Lily flies over the dark forest with Jonah held tightly between her legs. She drops him on a grassy area, then throws him further down. He tries to get away, but she brings him back and lightly slaps his head before reaching towards his pants. When Jonah tries to stop her, she slaps his hand away and continues to strip him of his pants. Then she sings, entrancing Jonah, and straddles him as she caresses his face. Jonah again reveals some of his past sexual encounters with Eva, but when he snaps back to reality, he sees Lily riding him back at the club. Nykes orders the Bluehead to capture Rand's torture memory. She pulls off her wig, which reveals her as some sort of gorgon with Medusa-like hair. She grabs the leech from her head and puts it to Rand's body through the mark on his neck. A moment later, she pulls the leech out in a jar. Nykes tells him to make sure that Jonah gets it. Jonah awakens later to find Lily sleeping peacefully beside him. He grabs his things and prepares To leave just then he gets a call from Eva. She tells him she was having a bad feeling and wanted to call. As the signal starts dispersing, Jonah tells her he loves her and the call drops. Jonah makes it back to his hotel room where the blue hair is waiting for him. She aims a gun at him and forces him to drink the leech from the jar. Upon drinking it, Jonah relives Rand's torture in the memory of Nykes speaking directly to him and offering a trade. The girl for Rand, all he has to do is go to a church, and Lily will follow him. Jonah agrees and follows the blue head to the church. Nykes meets Jonah in the church and tells him that Lily has chosen him as a mate. He further adds that her kind, the succubi, have one mate for life. Nykes gives Jonah a shackle which is supposed to bind her to Nyx's will. He tells him to put it on Lily. When she arrives, once this is done, he says he and Rand are free to go. One of Nyx's minions then pulls a sheet off a bound and gagged Rand. Jonah rushes to him and hugs Rand, who has no memory of the torture. A growling and snarling Lily then arrives and starts killing people. Nykes puts a knife to Jonah and tells Lily to surrender if she wants to save him. Desperately wanting to save her mate's life, Lily steps into the circle. Then Nykes pushes Jonah towards her. Jonah crawls to her with the shackle in hand and apologizes to her, telling her this was a trap. To Nyx's anger, Jonah makes a new deal with Lily. He won't put the shackle on her if she lets Jonah go. Lily agrees, and Jonah drops a shackle. Lily proceeds to slaughter Nykes at his henchman. Infuriated, Nykes kicks Jonah and steps on his foot. Mack attacks Nykes from the back and helps Jonah up. As Jonah goes to cut Rand loose, Nykes stabs back. He then starts advancing towards the boys, but Matt grabs his foot. Nykes slits his throat and continues advancing at them. Lily comes and entrances Nykes with her song before stabbing him through the mouth with her tail. Then she starts walking towards the boys. Rand freaks out, but Jonah tells him it's okay and rushes to grieve his brother's body. After that, Jonah takes Rand outside. Lily once again tells him not to go. Jonah stops and goes back to her. She kisses him goodbye and goes away. As Jonah leads Rand out of the church, Lily watches them leave from the top of the church. Jonah safely returns home to his wife and embraces her. A year later, Jonah and Eva are married. Eva states that she wants to start their special evening soon because she is getting sleepy while he's upstairs. Jonah hears Lily's song. He turns to see Eva standing at the door. He wishes her a happy anniversary and draws the blinds, which after they make love. After a while, Jonah leaves a sleeping Eva in his bed and goes downstairs. To his astonishment, she's laying asleep on the couch where she sat up earlier that evening. He hears someone descend the stairs and grabs a kitchen knife. Upon learning it's Lily, he drops the knife and calls her back. Lily smiles at him and caresses his cheek. Jonah attempts to get her to leave and almost succeeds until Eva notices Lily and starts to scream. Lily attacks Eva and throws her off the couch. Jonah begs her to stop, saying he will go with her if she does. Lily leaves. Eva grabs Jonah and flies off into the night with him, leaving Eva to hysterically scream after them.